Hey guys, what's up? It's July 18th, about almost 11 o'clock at night. Hope everything's going well. Hope everybody's enjoying the summer. I know we've had some crazy weather with the heat, all the rain that's been coming, especially here in the East Coast. But hopefully everybody's enjoying it. Summer goes by quick. I mean, we talk about all the time at work how just this year itself has gone by so quick. And before you know it, Thanksgiving's going to be here, then Christmas, and then next thing you know, it's 2024 and we're looking for the Royal Rumble. But um, my plan was to talk about LA Knight and just all the at least the hate that he's getting from Kevin Nash and what WWE is doing with him and just the response he's getting from the fans and what's happening with him. And that was my plan to do that tonight. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. Reason being is because I want to talk about what we saw about an hour ago on NXT. Now, I don't watch NXT like I used to. A lot of the guys that I liked, a lot of the guys and girls that I liked are either on the main roster now or they're no longer in WWE. Okay, I liked watching, Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Sami Zayn, Neville when he was there, but now he's Pac and AEW and Ember Moon and Io Sky. Those were the guys and girls that I really enjoyed watching, and I feel like that buzz that they created, that feeling, is just not there with the new crop of people. Um, now listen, I can be wrong. I don't watch it like I was. Like I'm not watching it religiously, but and I didn't watch NXT, religiously even back then. I watched their events. I watched a lot of their takeover events, and that's what I really enjoyed. And I just don't think that same energy of the crowd is there. That's just me. But the fact that Dirty Dom is the new NXT North American champion. And now here's the funny thing: when I was watching the match, and don't ask me why I wanted to see this. I mean, I was actually interested. I guess a part of me knew that Dom was going to win. I guess, but I'm watching the match, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Even though Rhea's there, Dom's not going to win. All of a sudden I started changing my feeling. He's not going to win. But then when the rest of Judgment Day showed up, I'm like, he's going to win. And sure enough, he won. And I think it's actually a positive. Now, Dom has been getting a lot of hate. The storyline with his dad, although it was drawn out forever, but we finally got to the climax, although I'm very surprised they only did one match. Um, they might circle back around, maybe Survivor Series or something like that. But anyway, the heat that he got from that with his father, and I know it's questioned whether or not the heat that we hear on TV is legitimate, if they're piping in the noise. And if I remember correctly, I believe somebody was live at the show and recorded it and was like, it's real. And the only other person who I remember getting the kind of heat that Dom does to the point that, they're trying to speak and they really have to yell to talk over them. The one person who I really remember that was like that was Vicky Guerrero. As much as people didn't like Stephanie, I don't remember Stephanie being booed that heavily. Triple H never got that kind of heat. Maybe Roman, especially the night after WrestleMania when he faced The Undertaker. I know they really shouted him down. Maybe John Cena, like Daniel Bryan was in the picture, but Vicky Guerrero is the one who I remember that got the same kind of heat. Excuse me, that Dom is getting right now. So it did wonders for him. And the reason why I said that Dom had to win, or I'm glad that Dom won, is because look what they're doing with the Judgment Day. Now, I thought the Judgment Day had pretty much run its course when it was done with Edge. And this was before they started talking about doing the World Heavyweight title. And I'm just like, what's left for Judgment Day? Who are you going to put him with? Because you put him in a mix with the Bloodline, and we know the Bloodline was going to be the strong one out of that. As far as like doing each other's dirty work. So, you battle with Ray, you battle with Edge, and I said, you got. And I remember doing a podcast. You gotta get Judgment Day to move past these guys and give them something else interesting to do, or just break them up because it felt like it ran its course. Well, they found a way to rejuvenate some of the interest in them. Giving Rhea the women's title, which she deserved. You made Damian Priest Mr. Money in the Bank. I'm still not quite sure how I feel about that, but he got Money in the Bank. There was always a question what was going to happen with Dom, especially if Judgment Day split. What would happen with Dom? Would he go down to the NXT roster? Because where's he going to fit in? The Cody match was very random. That was just to keep Cody busy. But it's great that they chose Dom for that. But that was just to keep Cody. That was just to keep Cody busy. Give him something to do until SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar, which we now know is going to happen. And now you have Finn Balor chasing Seth. So you have, to me, rejuvenated the Judgment Day. Now, how long is this rejuvenation going to last? Because we saw signs that they were going to break them up or cause tension. So at SummerSlam, I am of the belief that Finn is going to go over and take that title from Seth. The question is, does Damian Priest cash in on him right away? And does that now effectively end the Judgment Day? Now, does that end the Judgment Day completely? Or do you just kick Finn out like they kicked Edge out? And does Damian become the new leader and you assert somebody else to replace Finn? Or does Finn lose, Finn attack Seth Rollins, and assist Damian Priest in cashing in Money in the Bank and winning the title? And then sort of keep building that tension of when Finn will turn on Damian to get the title. I think the first scenario is a little better. That I think Finn Balor wins. And now you have Finn watching his back of what's going to happen with him taking the title. Now, let's say in Survivor Series, since we see the commercials for Survivor Series, let's say they do another War Games. And there's your opportunity for Damian Priest to cash in. And that kind of, because if you're giving the Judgment Day this momentum, to snuff it out with Finn to get a loss, I think is a mistake. Because I have said, and I said in the previous podcast, when you start building some of these groups to be this dominant, to me, they have to have championships. They have to. And that could be the tag team titles, the Intercontinental title, but I think the leader should always get that world title. I really do. And right now, to have almost every member of the Judgment Day be a champion, to me is a big deal. You have now they're always going to be a step below what the Bloodline was. But you are getting close to etching Judgment Day to one of the great stables that there have been. You're getting close to doing that with them. But what I think you need to do is that you need to have Finn win that title. You just elevated Dom by having him win the North American Championship. Now, you can't blow this and have him lose it a week later, a month later. At least 90 days. At least let him keep it past SummerSlam. You got to give him 90 days. You have to. You got to. You know, there was even talk about separating Dom from Rhea. But I don't think that's going to happen until Rhea loses the title because I think Dom's going to accidentally do it. And you can do that. You can have Dom lost his title because maybe Mommy didn't do something right. And then, you know, maybe Dom gets her back and does, you know, whatever. But I think it's a good fit for Dom to win. And listen, Dom has come a long way from when he first came into the picture. What was that? 20. Dom came into the picture, what? 20. Not 2018, was it? Yeah, was it around 2018 when Dom came in because they had the whole Cain Velasquez and all that? Let's see. Let's look that up really quick. Was it 2018? Was it Survivor Series 2018 that Ray challenged him that he was the champion? Ray Mysterio. Oops. Versus Brock Lesnar. Survivor Series, which was it was Survivor Series, but which one? 2019. Survivor Series 20. Okay, so I was off by a year. Survivor Series 2019. That's what it was. So Dom came into the picture. As far as the wrestling, we know he was there in 2005. But Dom came into the picture in 2019, and it started when Brock Lesnar grabbed him from the crowd and suplexed him. And then he got involved with Seth Rollins and everything. And yeah, he was green. He was. And that's why I think it was fair that they were criticizing him and they were comparing him to Taz's son Hook. That Hook was the better wrestler than him. But look where Dom has come. Dom has gotten much better. His confidence is up. Now, is he ready to be working with, you know, which I think he did work with Roman. I remember Roman choked him out or something. But, you know, is he like ready to main event WrestleMania? No. But he's come a long way. And it's good that, you know, he's getting a run as a singles champion. You know, Ray did good. And then, you know, we always said that, listen, they got to break up. And I think, I mean, I'm sure they're still together, you know, backstage, maybe traveling together, or maybe not. But the fact that, you know, Dom is now learning things from Finn, learning things from Rhea, learning things from Damian Priest, and whoever else is on the Raw roster, it's good for him. So I think we all need to give kudos to how far he's come. But the fact that they gave him the title, you were elevating Judgment Day when I thought their stock was declining. So now the last piece, give the world title to Finn. Let's see the reign that we didn't get to see back in 2016. Let's see it. And let's see, do you take that reign to Survivor Series? Do you take it to the end of the year? Do you take it into the Royal Rumble? Will he main event WrestleMania? Who knows? You know, Seth had a long championship drought. He did. But I think this story fits for Finn to go over. And listen, there's no doubt that if Seth does drop the title at SummerSlam, there is no doubt that Seth is going to get another title run. Seth is probably going to get 2 or 3 more title runs. So then if that's the case, you have Dom as your NXT North American champion, you have Rhea as the world heavyweight champion, and also that helps Rhea too. Because Rhea's reign has been a bit lackluster because there's not many realistic and viable competitors for her. Yes, it looks like we're leading to the Raquel match at SummerSlam, but let's be realistic. We know Raquel's not going over. But it gives Rhea the opportunity to have some hell of a matches with some of the girls in NXT because she's going to be with Dom Dom. And she's going to make sure that Dom Dom keeps his title, just like he makes sure that Mommy keeps her title. So the two of them together is great. The two of them is pretty much, a excuse me, a younger version and a more no, they're still comedic. It's pretty much another Eddie Guerrero in China, pretty much. And I will say this, maybe the Eddie references, I know Chavo was talking about this, but at least in this match, I thought that Eddie was a little too much. Every other move can be you mimicking Eddie Guerrero. You still have to somewhat have your own identity. But kudos to him getting the title. I'm very glad that he won, and I'm interested to see what do they do. What do they do with this? Does Dom defend the title on Raw as well, or we see it? But this is good because when the Judgment Day eventually, I think you did two things here. You elevated Dom, three things. You elevated Dom, you elevated Judgment Day, but you also sort of gave a home for Dom if and when Judgment Day breaks up. Because when Judgment Day breaks up, where do you see Dom fitting in? Who do you see him feuding with on that roster? Unless he won another title. Unless he won the Intercontinental title. Or he won a tag team title with somebody else. Where does Dom fit? Dom versus Riddle? Okay, but where's the substance with that? I would say Shinsuke, but it looks like Shinsuke just turned heel. Dom versus Johnny Gargano? Yeah, you can probably see a couple of matches with that. Dom doing something with one of the guys from Alpha Academy? Yeah. But right now I find it hard on what you would do with Dom after the Judgment Day. But you have sort of inserted him as okay, we can plug him in NXT and it won't look like a demotion. It won't look like, we just stuck him there for the hell of it. He has some history there. It now makes sense. So I think you've accomplished three things tonight with his win. And don't expect him to defend the title cleanly. He may not even have that many. He may avoid doing, defending them on purpose. But I think they got it right tonight. I absolutely think they did. Dom deserved to win that match and deserved to get the title. He absolutely did. But don't fuck it up and take it away so quick. Let it ride. Let it ride. And let's see what happens with the Judgment Day after this. Let's see what happens. So that was it. A short one tonight rather. About Dirty Dom. I will be back tomorrow to talk about LA Knight because I don't know what WWE is doing with this guy. I mean, you listen to the crowd reactions that this guy is getting, and this is the shit that would drive me crazy. Cesaro would get similar reactions, but then Vince would say that he's not connecting with the crowd. So is Vince back there somewhere saying this guy's not connected? Because if that's the case, there's something wrong with Vince's ears. He's connecting. He has connected. And it looks like they're turning him face. So, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. It's almost 11:30. I don't even want to know what the Yankees are doing right now. They've been such a disgrace. But that's it for me, guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Look for another episode tomorrow. Have a good night.